Okay, we're gonna dive in because I don't know. I just have a hard time sitting here waiting and it's really quiet. And anyway, so we will get started. I'm super excited for tonight's topic because I feel we kind of all have something. Well, maybe you don't yet, like if you're a newer coach, but I feel like we all have something we're like, feel like we're good at talking about, a little more confident speaking about. And like the power hour and consistency has always kind of been like my jam from day one. I was actually always asked to like guest speak or do calls on it because it was just something I was able to do while working 3 jobs. And that's actually kind of why I made a comment in the post about how busy people I find are good coaches because you only have like kind of certain pockets of time throughout the day to get things done. So it was like I didn't have a choice. It was either do it on my break, drive to work, yada, 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 or just don't do it. Whereas now doing it full time, it's like more of a struggle because you're like, okay, I could do the dishes, I could do this, you could go hang out with friends, whatever. So I'm excited about this topic. And honestly, like it could be a refresher for you guys, but I just think it's so important to stay with the basics. That's something I've always kind of been told from day one, like don't stray away from the basics. I actually pulled out, so I've been a coach for 5 years. I pulled out my notebook. It's funny that I still have it. The notebook I bought the day I became a coach. I have 18,000 papers I'm going to share with you guys, but like from the dollar store, Dollarama, nothing fancy. I feel like they still sell those ones. Anyway, so my power hour, you guys, I still have it from 5 years ago. It fell out of my book, but it's right here. Still have it. And I just wanted to tell you guys that I think it's so crazy, but also kind of why you always hear everyone say, like, do the vitals, because what I have written on this piece of paper from 5 years ago is literally this that they revamped last year. Maybe it's just worded a little bit differently, but like I was shocked. I was looking at this before the call and it's like add 5 new people to Facebook and Instagram, connect with new people on your friends list, post. Something I wanted to share with you guys. When I started coaching, we were told to post on your page 3 to 5 times a day. Okay. So like now for me posting once a day, it's like, it's not even a struggle because I used to post 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night, because stories wasn't a thing yet. It wasn't even like, I don't even think invented at the time. So we didn't have to do stories. But now like I much prefer stories as opposed to having to come up with content for 3 posts. Like that was a struggle. But I did it, not every day. Some days I only did 1 post, but the goal was always 3. But anyways, it was just funny to me reading over this. And it's like, schedule your post, personal development. I had workout 5 days a week and share, drink Shakeology and share, national wake up call. So like nothing on this list is not on this. So that is why like we preach so much like this is your business in a nutshell. Like this done consistently is what's going to grow your business. So obviously we'll dive more into it in a second here, but yeah. And then I have like, so I started in 2015, like I said. So you guys, it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be pretty. Do what works for you. If this tracker doesn't work for you, just write it in a notebook, use the app, find what works best for you. I didn't really check anything off. I literally just made sure at the end of the day that I did everything, but I just had power hour at the top. I remember when I joined, my coach said, be here in 1 year. So I have written at the top, March 1st, 2016. And then I had show up daily, be consistent. And then in 2017, I wrote a new power hour in the same notebook. And it was all the same things, except I just kind of doubled. So when I was adding 3 to 5 friends on Facebook, I upped that to 10 friends. So I am literally doing these same behaviors now, 5 years into my business, that I was doing when I started. The only difference is just I'm doing a bit more now. Like when I started, I never sent 50 invites. Ever. Like that didn't happen. I mean, maybe the odd time if I was like, I don't know, there was a coaching event and I just was like, you know what, I'm going to send 50 invites, but I didn't do that. Like 2 to 3, 3 to 5, that was what I was doing. And again, I'll dive more into that in a second, but don't ever feel like because you're here, oh my God, Jen's sending 50 invites. You don't have to do that. I've been coaching 5 years. So what I do now is going to be more than what a lot of you are doing because we're at different places in our business, right? So again, I'll dive more into all of this here in a second, but I want you guys to know that like, it's more important to be consistent than to just do things occasionally. So, okay, I'm just going to pull up the slideshow because I feel like I'm saying everything I'm going to be saying. And yeah. Okay, one sec here. I also took a second and like added up the times for everything like that I was doing when I first started and now, and I feel like you guys are going to be blown away by how much time it actually takes and how much time we make it take some days. I was shocked. But again, I feel like we're all home a bit more now and it's tough when you're home all the time. Just because you get sidetracked. Okay, where did you guys go? Where did this go? Okay, so, oh, what the heck did I do here? Oh, I don't want to share, that's why. Okay. So there is that, and you guys are there. Okay, we are ready. So consistency and the power hour. So the power hour is small, simple actions repeated daily. Oh, why is this not working? Oh, there we go. Okay. So I don't know why I just said that now and I could say it here. So what is the power hour? You'll hear it called a bunch of different things. Call it whatever you want. Some people call it a focus hour. Some people call it like I don't even know what other people call it. I've just always called it a power hour. And again, not everyone does it in an hour. For me in the beginning, it was like power pockets. So basically it is a list of daily behaviors to help grow your business. It's a great way to focus your time and ensure that you're being productive. Because I don't know about you guys, but I know like there's days I'll spend an hour making one graphic because I'm just being like, a little OCD, like, oh my God, that color doesn't match. I don't really like this font. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have sent invites. I could have, posted it on my page. Like, so sometimes we're just spending too much time on the wrong things. But another thing I was always told from day one is that these things are simple to do. Like, I personally don't find anything on that tracker hard. Like, yes, some of it takes a bit of getting used to, some of it might be out of our comfort zone, but it's not hard. It's simple to do, but it's easy not to do. So that's when you have to remind yourself of your goals, why you're here, why you're doing this, what you want this to become, and keep that like in the front of your brain. And on those days where you're just like, I'll do it tomorrow. Because that's the thing too, we get caught in that, like, I'll catch up tomorrow. Well, then the next day you start your day feeling behind, like, oh crap, I need to catch up on invites from yesterday, or I didn't get this, this, and this done. And then you just feel overwhelmed. And then we push it off. And then a week goes by and you're like, well, shit, I haven't done anything in my business in a week. So I just find okay, sorry you guys, I'm rambling. 8:30 is not a good time for this girl to talk. I've come to realize my brain just like shuts off, I feel like, at 6 p.m. So I just totally lost my train of thought as well. Okay, so it's funny because I like practice this too before I do. Well, not practice, but I just kind of run through what I'm gonna say and it sounds so good. And then I go to actually talk to you guys and I'm just like not even making sense. So, okay, I'm gonna make you guys small because you're blocking my words. So obviously my days look a bit different now than when I first started coaching. Most of you know I worked 3 jobs when I started coaching. I was supply EA, ECE at the school board. I did private respite 3 days a week, and then I waitressed evenings and weekends. So I was busy. Some days I left my house at like 6:30 in the morning, didn't get home till like 11 o'clock at night. Busy. But I still managed to get my things done in pockets of time throughout the day. And again, I feel like I was so focused because you only had like your 15-minute break or your 20-minute lunch. And a lot of my stuff was done, like wake up calls and trainings and stuff I listened like in the car to and from work. So just know that if sitting down for like a long period of time, like an hour, hour and a half, doesn't work for you, that's okay. That doesn't work for a lot of coaches. Like if you have kids and stuff, sometimes that's just not ideal for you to sit and have a focused hour that you're not interrupted and stuff. So just know that it's okay to like play around with your schedule. Something I heard, I think it was at a summit that I really loved. It was like, be flexible with your schedule, but disciplined with your business building activities. Your day isn't going to look the same every single day. Things happen, things come up, but just kind of adjust. And I'm going to go over again things that, like, if you have a super slam day, just make sure you get these few things done so that you're like, okay, I still did what needed to get done, even if I didn't get all the boxes ticked off. Because you guys, I didn't get every single box ticked off every single day, but I'll go over that more in a minute. So non-negotiables, so AKA the vitals. For me, and again, this is just what I've learned from day one, was told to do it, so I did it. So working out, obviously I'm not doing right now, but I'm trying to get out for walks, just move my body 5 days a week. So you should always be doing a program. I mean, it's okay, obviously, to like take a week off, take some time off here and there, but like that is what we do, our programs, right? And it'd be hard to get people to join us or chat with people about them if we're not actually doing it ourselves, right? I'm huge on like, we have to practice what we preach. We cannot tell someone else they should be drinking Shakeology or whatever if we're not doing it as well. So obviously working out, drinking Shakeology, I have been a coach, like that show, 64 months. I have never missed a month of ordering Shakeology. That was always a goal of mine from the beginning. All I wanted was to pay for my shakes in the beginning. And that's what I did. My first month, I think I signed up 6 people, and like, just from sharing my journey, committing to 21-day fix, like, I mean, fully committing to the containers, to the workouts. I told myself I was going to post every day for those 3 weeks, and I did. You guys, I had no idea what I was doing. I knew nothing about coaching. I didn't even start coaching like because I wanted to coach. I only started coaching because I reached out to a friend about 21 Day Fix and Shakeology, and she asked if I wanted to coach because it was free with my kit. And I said, okay, sure, I'll try it. And here I am, like literally had no idea what it even was. And again, I was just told, pick a program, pick a start date, show up in your challenge group, post once a day, like about so I literally every day, that was the easiest thing for me in the beginning, was day 1 of 21. And I talked about my journey. In the beginning, that was a big thing for me because I wasn't great at posting yet. I didn't really know how to like mix it up, but I always made sure I did like my day 1 of 21, my day 2 of 21. I'd add in some like quotes or like different other posts, but that was one thing I did for 3 weeks, 21 days. And then at the end of those 21 days, I shared my results. And that was the scariest thing I have ever done. Like, I will never forget to this day posting that first transformation photo and wanting to puke. Like, I literally had to shut my phone off after, because I was like, what are people going to say? What are people going to think? Are they going to, say nasty comments? Like, I was someone that actually needed to gain weight when I started coaching. So that was a hard thing for me as well, because I thought people would be like, oh, like, why is she working out? Why is she doing this? She's already too skinny. So all these things were running through my head that people were going to be really nasty. And that was hard. Like, that was definitely, I feel like, one of the biggest hurdles starting out. But I posted it, I turned my phone off, went to bed, and I woke up the next day and it was fine. People were so nice, so supportive. I had killer results, like, because I literally followed that program and nutrition plan to a T. And that's kind of where it all took off for me. And when I got excited, and I was just like, wow, like, I was just working out something I wanted to do for me anyway, and sharing that with people. I mean, the good days and the bad days. Like, I made jokes about the containers, like, oh my God, I remember thinking these were so small and I was going to be starving, but it's actually a lot of food. And I talked about the struggles and how I could barely sit down to pee or walk the first week because I was so sore. And I took people on that journey with me. And then they got interested and they started to trust me because I showed up every day. I didn't go anywhere. Like, because you have to think, like, if you were to sign up with a personal trainer or someone, you don't want a personal trainer that's just going to be like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be here next week. Like, if they just were kind of flaky, you didn't know if you could depend on them, if they were going to show up for like your one-on-one session, like, you probably wouldn't go with them, right? So you have to think about that with your business as well. Sometimes it takes a little bit for people to gain that trust with you because they just want to make sure you're not going anywhere, that it's not just a fad, that you're trying out for a week and then next week you're going to be trying something else. So just keep that in mind. If you're not seeing like that immediate result, immediate success, it does take time, and everybody's journey is so different. So that's another thing I like to say, like, never compare your chapter 1 to my chapter 64, because totally different. I got off on a total rant there. So working out, drinking Shakeology, we have to be proof the product works. And again, that's why I feel like most of us started anyway, was the programs, the health and wellness side of things. Next, non-negotiable, invite and follow up. So inviting, I know, is usually one of the biggest struggles for everyone. And trust me, like, I get it. Inviting still is not something I like doing. It is the one thing I don't like doing in this business. But now I'm trying my best to always do it first in the morning, because then it's done. And I'm telling you guys, that has been a game changer these last 2 weeks, getting the one thing you don't like doing most out of the way, because then everything else kind of seems like, oh, okay, this is like fun. So inviting. Again, if you can do 2 invites a day, that's all I did in the beginning. 2, 3, 5. Commit to a number that you can do daily. It is so much better to do something, like I said, consistently. So 2 a day, as opposed to 10 here, 10 there. So seriously, tell yourself, for the next 21 days, you're going to send 2 invites a day, Monday to Friday. I personally don't send invites on the weekend. Monday to Friday, 2 invites a day. That will literally take you 2 minutes. And it can be to your challenge group, to coaching, but just make that commitment to doing it. And like, it gets easier and easier. So again, like, once you get in a good routine, like, I never started again, like I said, with 50 invites, because I knew I couldn't commit to that. And I knew I'd do it for a week and I'd be like, like, no, I'm not doing this. So I started small, 2 to 5 invites. And I did that for probably a year, you guys. Like, I did not do crazy inviting for a while. And then like I got in a good routine with it. And then I upped it to like 10 invites. So find something that you can stick with. And you know, that again, it's not going to feel super comfortable. I feel like inviting is, there are coaches that love inviting, but most people, it's that kind of awkward thing. And you have to find a way that works well for you. Like some coaches will not send a cold invite, which just means they don't like messaging people they don't know, like at all. Like first message is an invite. Whereas I don't mind doing that now. So you have to find, again, it's all in the wording too, I think. You have to find what works well for you. If you are someone that would rather build a relationship first, you know, make that connection, and then when you kind of feel it's right in the conversation, throw it in. You just have to make sure you're doing it though. Some coaches swear by adding polls to their Instagram stories. They do a poll on there every day, and those are the people they invite. So play around. There's some different inviting techniques in the team page. There's one called the PB&J method. I actually tried that out last year and I did like it. It's funny because I don't even remember what it is now, like kind of the steps, but it was a really neat idea that the coach talked about on a wake-up call. So play around and find something that feels good for you. And when I say good, I just mean not like you're not grossed out. Like think of how you would want to be invited, because we all get, I feel like now more than ever, kind of like we get a lot of messages about joining different things. Some messages I'm like, wow, like if I wasn't already doing something like this, I would probably ask this girl for more information. Some messages I get, I just want to rip their face off and be like, are you kidding me that you just sent that to me? So just think of how you would want to be invited. And again, it's always going to feel kind of weird, but as long as you don't feel like gross and icky about it, then just try it out and feel free to like play around and find a good groove for you. But inviting is something we have to be doing, because you're not going to get people to join you. Like, yes, you will get people coming to you from your posts and stuff, but a lot of times we do have to kind of put the bug in people's ear. Where am I here? Oh, only on point number 2. I feel like I've been talking for 20 minutes. Sorry, you guys. So follow-ups. Follow-ups are key. Like I'm sure you guys have heard the saying, the fortune's in the follow-up. So if you don't have a system yet, I recommend checking out Teamsy. I love it, although it's not for everybody. You can do a 30-day free trial with it. And then I think it's like $40 a month. But again, I didn't use that in the beginning of my business. I didn't pay for anything like that for the first few years of my business. So do not feel you have to spend money to like see success. Pen and paper is what I used forever. So basically, like I didn't track all of my invites. I only tracked if people wanted more information. If they expressed any interest in joining, if they said, hey, can I have more information, and then ghosted me, doesn't matter. Anyone that asked or expressed interest, they went on my follow-up list, and I follow up with them every month. Just simply saying, hey, like, I know you were interested in the past about joining my boot camp. Just wanted to like give you kind of first dibs on a spot. I have a new group starting this day. Like, let me know if this month is a better time. And I know I've told you guys this before. Like, I have literally followed up with people for 12 months straight. And it's literally just my message, my message, my message, my message. And then all of a sudden, they're like, hey, I would love to join. They don't even say, oh my gosh, I'm sorry I ignored you for an entire year. But people just aren't ready. And honestly, I've never had someone say like, piss off, stop messaging me, but I'll follow up with them until they do say that. So don't be afraid to follow up. People generally appreciate it, because we all know life's busy. Sometimes you open a message, you forget to reply, whatever happens. So following up is a good thing, because a lot of times I've had people thank me like, wow, thank you so much for thinking of me. Like I wanted to join and then I got busy and forgot or whatever. So inviting and following up, huge. So in brackets, I just kind of put like different ways. Obviously we've chatted about mentioning signing up as a discount coach to anyone who purchases a challenge pack. That is something like I do obviously to everyone, and 9 times out of 10, they say yes. The odd person will say no, which is totally fine. But if you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. Call to actions through posts and stories. So, good rule of thumb is because I think sometimes we feel we have to just post about Beachbody, 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 Beachbody. And I know for me in the beginning, because we were posting 3 times a day, they said 80% to post about your life, nothing to do with Beachbody, 20% about the business. And that doesn't mean you can't like weave in coaching or your shake or something, but basically you just don't want every day to be like, hey, do you want to buy Shakeology? Hey, do you want to join my challenge group? Hey, do you want to, like, you just don't want to be asking, always asking and not giving. So that's a big thing to think of too, like more add value during the week. So for me, something I learned with the Josh Coates training, I only invite on Sundays. That's my 1 day a week in my actual written post that I invite. The rest of the week, like Monday, Thursday, I do something totally not Beachbody related. Tuesday, Wednesday is like kind of customer focused, coaching focused. Friday should be a transformation. I have not shared one in a while. Again, I'm just kind of in a weird spot, obviously, with not working out right now, but I'm going to share one this Friday, I think. And it's going to be kind of a backwards transformation, but it's important to share that, you guys. Like, there's been times in the past I have done 21 Day Fix Extreme, for example. I remember a couple summers ago, my results went backwards. Like, my workouts were good, my eating sucked. But I shared that and I was very honest. People appreciate that. You know, people like when we share not just the highlight reel because we're human, and that's what connects you to other people. Like, you guys, if you have a bad day and you drink a bottle of wine and eat an entire pizza and tub of ice cream, guess what? That is okay. And you can, yes, cheers, Amanda. That is okay. You can share that with people because guess what? They're going to be like, wow, you go, girl. Like, I did the same thing last night. And that creates that kind of conversation and shows people that you're real, that you're not some like perfect working out, clean eating machine. And if you are, great. That's going to be your brand. And that's the type of people you're going to connect and like attract, right? So just remember to be yourself. And I know it can be hard sometimes with social media. We feel like we have to just share like the good days, but no, people really appreciate when you share both. Obviously, like, don't post negative like every day. And I always say if you do share kind of a negative experience, try to always end it with like how you're going to work on it. So like, for instance, this week when I share my transformation, I haven't really fully thought of it yet, but like, I'll talk about how, hey, like, it's been a bit of like a mental thing with me with not working out and my eating, and a lot of like negative things I had before Beachbody are starting to kind of come back and yada, yada, yada. But then I would end it with, this is the plan that I'm going to do to make sure I don't fall back into old habits and stuff. So you're kind of like sharing the problem, but then you're also kind of sharing what you're going to do to overcome it. And this way, people that are maybe going through something similar, you give them hope. So just know that you can share the good, the bad. Again, I'm sorry, you guys. I feel like I'm going like way off topic here. So invite follow-up, personal development. We all know that's a big thing. And I know sometimes it's hard to get it in, but don't think you have to like sit down and read an entire book in a day. 10 minutes, 10 minutes while you're doing the dishes. For me in the beginning, I could not sit down and read a book. I just never really stuck with me. And I just felt like I didn't have the time to do it. So Audible became like my best friend, or podcasts. And literally I would have headphones in while I was doing the dishes, while I was making dinner, while I was sweeping. I never just sat and did personal development because, again, I just felt like I was wasting time or something, even though that's silly. But for me, it just worked best to do it while doing something else. So while I was driving to work, I replaced, blaring my music. I mean, some days I feel like you just need that. So I didn't do it every day, but just find ways to fit it in that work for you, because personal development, oh my gosh, I can't stress enough that it really is a game changer. Like, I know for me, if I haven't done it in a few weeks, I feel it in my mood, in my mindset. You feel these little negative thoughts creeping in, and then like you listen to a good podcast or you read a good chapter in a book, and it's like, holy crap, that was literally written for me. And all of a sudden, like, things kind of start to change. So make personal development a non-negotiable, you guys, at least, 4 to 5 days a week. And if it works better for Audible, do that. If it's a book, do that. So adding and following people. So this is something, so again, Instagram wasn't huge when I started coaching, but so now I obviously just do both, but this is something I did before I got out of bed every single morning. I added my 3 to 5 people on Facebook. That's all I started out with adding, 3 to 5 people. I didn't go crazy and try to add 50 people. I think you'd get blocked anyway or something. But 3 to 5 people every morning. That is what I did. And when I started coaching, I think I had 300 friends on Facebook. I've been maxed at 5,000 for a while now, but I'm actually, as I'm doing my invites through Facebook, I've been deleting a lot of people, just like kind of random weird dudes and just people how you're like, how the heck did you end up on my Facebook? So I'm making room for new people, but you guys, you will run out of people to chat with, to invite to. You'll kind of use up your warm market, like so friends and family. So you have to be consistently expanding your network so that your posts and your story and your journey is getting in front of new people, right? So that's new clients, and then that's their friends that they're going to talk about you, and their friends of friends. So that is honestly so important, and it's something you can do, I feel like, really super quick. So 3 to 5 friends, nothing crazy. Again, it's so much better to commit to 3 to 5 every day than just sending 5 friend requests once a month. So find something that you can commit to. If it's 2 people a day, commit to that for a month. And then maybe in August, say, okay, that went well. I'm going to add 3 people. Doing little things consistently are going to, add up and grow over time. So 3 to 5. So no mutual coaches. That's a big thing I say, is just there's not really much point in adding other coaches because they're already coaches. So that's one thing I always recommend checking. Just kind of give a peek at their mutual friends. If you notice they have 10 of us on their friends list, I probably wouldn't add them just because they're already seeing enough of it, right? A big thing I do is my challengers. If I've chatted with them about coaching and I'm pretty darn sure they're never going to coach, I'll go to their friends list. And I go through, I just go through. It took me a long time, 2 years, before I completely ran out of people that I didn't know or have mutual friends with. So start there. And again, don't feel like it's a weird thing. If you ever get someone that messages you and is like, hey, do I know you? I'm just no, you popped up in suggested friends. I'm always looking to connect with new women, so I threw with the ad, no worries if you don't want to accept. 9 times out of 10, they accept. I've had a few people just say because of my kids, family, I don't accept people I don't know. Yeah, no problem. Instagram, I find you don't really run into that because it's a platform where you do follow people you don't know. So Instagram's a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about oh my gosh, what are they going to say? But that is how you have to, you have to expand your network, because you will run out of people to chat with. And again, people seeing your posts and stuff. Posting once on social media, again, be thankful it is not 3 to 5 times a day, because that was awful. Once a day. That is one thing. So I said earlier that not every day I got every box ticked off, but every day I showed up on my social media, Scout's honor. Other than when I went to Facebook jail once and Instagram jail once, I have posted every single day on my social media. Some days, I'm not going to lie, it was literally a photo of a quote with I did a heart emoji. Sometimes it wasn't, I didn't put any thought into it. It was just a post to post. It was a post just to post, you know what I mean? But it's because I made a commitment. I was I'm going to show up and do this. So posting was the one thing I always did, because I thought it was important to show up for myself, my business, my clients, and my team. Because if you have challengers and clients and stuff, you don't want to just fall off the map and then be where the heck did she go? So that was another thing, posting on my social media page and in your challenge group. If you're running a challenge group, that's super important too. And guys, again, be honest. If you're having kind of a rough go, just simply say, hey, kind of having a rough go. I may not be showing up my best self right now, but just know I'm still here kind of thing. There's been times I've literally just posted a black thing on my Instagram and story and like written a little post that, hey, I'm just having an off day or I'm not feeling good. Like, see you guys tomorrow. But at least I'm showing up and letting people know, hey, I'm still here. I'm just not feeling well. Or this happened and I just I can't do social media today. So that's okay. We're human, but you just don't want to like fall off the face of the earth for a while because people notice. People are watching you. Like, you may not realize it, but they are. People are always watching. I'm telling you, seriously. So posting Instagram stories. So aim for 6 to 12, just because I feel like that gives you a good variety of, you share your workout clips, you know, your Shakeology, Energize, you can share a quote, recipe, poll, talk on your stories. That allows people to get to know you, because when we post a picture, that doesn't show people like our mannerisms, you know, just kind of like our personality, and that's going to connect you with people. And then just show your day to day. Again, we are so much more than just Beachbody coaches. Share that, you guys. Share about your family, your fur babies, your kids. Share all of that. I think I talk about that here in a minute. I can't believe I just talked for all of that long on one page. Okay, I'll make this quick. I see chats coming up, but I can't look at those right now because I'll be like, squirrel, more than I already am. Okay, so that first page, those are things I try to get done no matter what. And I did a little like adding up of that today. So to do your workout, obviously it depends if your workout's 20 minutes or 40 minutes. Drink your Shakeology. I put 2 to 5 minutes. I didn't really know what a time would be to drink your Shakeology. More so I was just trying to factor in making it. Invites, if you're only doing a couple, 5 minutes. I do 20 minutes, however many I get sent out in 20 minutes. Follow-ups, 10 to 20 minutes. Personal development, 10 to 15 minutes. Your ads and follows, 5 to 10. Your post, 5 minutes. Something I just wanted to mention about your written posts. Someone told me once that if it takes you longer than like 5 to 7 minutes to write your post, it doesn't sound like you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because sometimes we overthink it. You guys, don't. And I'm guilty of it. Trust me too. You just reread it and you change words 20 times and you end up going back and posting what you originally had written. Just post it. Trust me, people aren't looking like, oh my God, that sentence didn't really make sense. Like, why did she write that? Just say what you feel. They always say too, like, if you wouldn't say it to your mom or your best friend, don't post it. Like, just be yourself. Show up as 100% you. So anyway, Instagram stories, 6 to 12 minutes. I did like 1 minute per story. So 63 minutes, you guys, 63 for all of that. That is like literally your business. Obviously there's a few little extra odds and ends, but 63 minutes. So think about that. Like, that's not that long. And again, that can be broken up into 4 15-minute blocks. 15 in the morning, 15 while the babes are napping, 15 when maybe you're watching a Netflix show and, you know, didn't have all your business stuff done. Again, we're all guilty of that. Stay up 15 minutes later, get up 15 minutes earlier, 63 minutes. Then I did kind of the max time. So like for me, 2 hours and 7 minutes. Sometimes it's taken me 8 hours to do that stuff. So again, we all have the time. It's just about focus, like focusing your time and just knowing what's important and what's going to move the needle forward in your business, as opposed to just doing like the fun, pretty graphics and stuff, which, hey, obviously, yes, that's important too, but you want to make sure you get the income producing, they call them the IPAs, the income producing activities done first. So here's just some other things that I obviously tried to get done. National Wake Up Call. First couple years, I could not catch this live ever. I worked every Monday, like that was never a question. So I made it my personal development one day for the week or over a couple days. I'm someone, and that's why I hate that I'm talking so much, because I'm someone, like, if a video's over 40 minutes, I struggle to watch it. So I would break it up. I would watch it over a couple days. So that's okay too. And with the national wake up calls, the first 20 minutes is usually just recognition, which is obviously exciting. But if, you know, you or someone on our team isn't being recognized that we know of, you can just skip past that. So it's only about 20 minutes as opposed to 40. But just make sure you are making those a non-negotiable. I can't stress enough the gold and the fire and the inspiration that comes out of those calls. A lot of times it's top coaches, sometimes it's new coach success stories, sometimes it's a super trainer, sometimes it's Carl Deichler. I have never got off one of those calls and said, wow, I wish I didn't listen to that. I'm always like, holy shit. Like, you're either super inspired, crying, or have a whole bunch of notes that you're like, okay, like, I want to do this. I want to try this in my business. I want to try this in my business. Because that's another thing too. You have to play around. I feel like coaches, we all do the same things, but we do them a bit differently because we're all different, right? So what works for me and how I schedule my day and stuff might not work for you. So just know that it's okay to try different things until you find that good groove for you. Plan posts for the following day or week. That's something I did a lot in the beginning when I was working other jobs, because like I just found I wouldn't get them posted if I didn't plan the night before. I always just tried to plan my morning post. So I just took a few minutes before bed or while I was winding down watching TV and wrote out my post, or at least my topic. That has been really helpful, having kind of your topic for each day of the week. Extra photos. This might sound silly, but I know for me that is a big struggle with posting, because I'm just like, if I have to take one more selfie, or like I'm a hot mess, I don't want to put makeup on, I just don't want my photo taken. Like, I'm sure you guys can relate. Like, sometimes I'm just like, I don't want it. Like, I don't want to. So something I heard as a newer coach, and it's kind of genius, I feel like it was Lindsay Matway. She said, one day when you actually do your hair and do your makeup and stuff, she's like, go outside, take a photo. Then she's like, go inside, change your shirt, take a photo. And then she said, just change your top, like put your hair up, put your hair down, and take like 5 or 6 photos the same day. And then you have some extra photos. It's always super handy to have some photos, like just kind of extra for days if you're not feeling well, or you're super hungover, or like whatever, you know, if you just don't, or you just don't have time. It is so handy to take extra photos. Like if you're out somewhere cool, like outside or whatever, take different photos in different places. And then you could just post them a couple weeks apart. Like, trust me, people aren't going to know and be like, didn't Jen go there last week? Like, no one cares about that stuff. So extra photos is huge if you can do it, if you think about it. Plan ahead as much as you can. So more so just for me, this helps huge. My challenge groups always start the second Monday of the month. That's really as far as my planning ahead goes. But that way I just know how to kind of gear my posts. So usually 2 weeks of the month, my posts and like inviting are more challenge group focused. And then once my challenge group starts and it's a couple days in, I shift my focus to more coaching opportunity, inviting to coaching and stuff like that. Plus, it's helpful to start your groups. Like some coaches do the first of the month. And then I know some other coaches do the second Monday of the month as well. It's just helpful because a lot of times people will be like, oh, I can't join this month. Like, when's your next one? So that way, if someone asks like your next one a couple of months down the road, you can give them a date. So I just find that handy. So checking into your challenge groups, obviously, you know, people are posting in there, showing up. You just want to make sure, like I do it at night now, actually. While I'm just winding down, watching some TV, I just go through my challenge group. That's when I kind of like, comment, engage on people's photos. Training groups, if you're in any training groups, which we don't have going on right now, but if you're in like a push to emerald or anything like that, it's just important to check into those. Again, this is kind of extra stuff. Like these aren't vitals. Well, checking into your challenge group, I feel like should be a vital. But if you weren't to do that today, but you did it tomorrow morning, like that's fine kind of thing. Check your back office. It's good to get in that habit, just because you want to see if you have any customer leads, new customers, a return, a new coach breaking news. That's kind of right there when you log in. It's just always good to like stay up to date if there's anything coming up. Check in with your team at least 1 to 2 times a week. Obviously newer coaches and stuff, you're working a lot like more with them than 1 to 2 times a week. But challengers, my rule of thumb is if they're not really showing up and posting in my group, I will reach out to them once a week. Again, in the beginning, you're pretty much chatting every day, but once they get in a good routine, they know how to use the programs, the shakes and stuff like that. I usually do once a week. And sometimes actually I just ask them, I'm like, hey, how much do you want me to check in with you? Some girls want every other day. Some want like once a month. So don't be afraid to ask. Reply. So my rule of thumb, as most of you know, I am very open, vocal about, I don't have notifications on Messenger, Instagram, nothing. I try very hard to stick to, like, I only return messages. I only go in my inbox when it's like that time to go in my inbox. Otherwise, you'll be in there all day. And that's not something, a boundary I really set for myself in the beginning. And because I just didn't think you were like allowed. And then I was like, this is my business. Like, nobody works 24/7. And if it's like a dentist or something, they close at 5 o'clock. You call and leave a message. Guess what? They call you back the next day. So I kind of flipped that mindset. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Like, I'm the CEO of my own business. So I'm going to set business hours. And my dad actually got really mad at me. One day I went there for dinner and I was working and it was like 7 o'clock. And he's like, are you kidding? Because he owns his own business. He's like, my phone gets shut off at 6 o'clock, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, your business and my business are a little different, but it was a good point though. Like, we don't need to be on all the time, you guys. So do not be afraid to set those boundaries. I now have it in my welcome email to my new clients. I let them know, hey, I don't have notifications on Messenger. I check in usually once in the morning, once in the afternoon. If you message me after a certain time, I won't see it till the next day. I just like to let people know I'm not ignoring them, because sometimes, like, we're posting on stories or posting on social media. So I don't ever want someone to think, well, Jen is posting on her stories. Why isn't she getting back to me? So I'm just very open and honest about, or like, with my people about that. And I always say, message me anytime, but just, I may not get back to you right away. And I always let them know of other resources, especially challengers. I'm like, if it's super important, post in the group. Because like my challenge group, there's other coaches in there. I have girls that have been doing this for 5 years, like right along with me. So people in there are pretty knowledgeable. I let them know about Google. They can always call Beachbody. If you're a coach, I give you guys other resources like the team page. We have friggin' Alive and Well, Boss Babe, lots of different resources. And if it was ever an emergency, I don't know, call me on Facebook Messenger. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like that rings on my phone. But anywho, so don't be afraid to set boundaries, because you guys, you will get burnout. That is a real thing. And no one wants to be on their phone 24/7. So just know it's okay to set business hours and stick to them. And again, you can be flexible with them, but just know that that's okay. Set new goals. So setting new goals each week and each month, I find super important, because it keeps you excited. It reminds you what you're working towards. I used to set yearly goals. I know I've told you guys this, and that didn't get me excited, because I'd be like, oh, I still got 11 months to hit that goal. Oh, I still got 10 months. So I didn't even start working on this goal till September. And then you're like, well, crap, like, now, then you almost give up. So it's good to obviously set a year-end goal, but make sure you break that down and set it into weekly, monthly goals. Okay, what time are we at here? 9:16. Oh my gosh. Okay, I knew this was going to be a long one though. Okay, so tips and tricks. We already talked about this, so I'm not going to go much into that. Be a product of the product, you guys. We cannot ask other people to do something, drink something, try something if we are not doing it ourselves. You are your storefront. Remember to try new things. Like, I didn't really try new things for a while. Well, we didn't have as many cool products as we have now when I joined. It was pretty much just Shakeology. But like, if you haven't tried beach bars before, maybe like make it a goal every other month or something to try something new. Try Collagen Boost. Try the Greens Boost. Try the Digestive Health. Try a different kind of Energize. Try a different kind of Shakeology. Get the sampler pack. Because the more you know about your products and the more you've tried things, the more you can recommend it to people. And like, if your clients or potential clients ask you a question, it's much easier to answer and have that conversation if you've tried the product, right? I actually ran into the other day, because I've never tried creatine. I think that's it from our performance line. That's like the one thing I haven't tried. And I didn't know, like, I had a girl ask me about it and I was like, ew. But I just posted in like one of our bigger team pages. People answered right away. But if I like, that's why it's important to try other things. Again, you don't have to get them every month, but once in a while, Just like, hey, okay, every other month or every couple months, I'm going to try one new product. Oh, this is so important. Don't be a billboard for Beachbody. And so that's kind of ties into what I said at the beginning. Like, I don't have a Shakeology shaker, for example, but like, you don't want to just be like, Shakeology, like, hey, drink my Shakeology, so you could post it in a different shaker cup and talk about it. Like, you guys know, like I say superfoods, legal crack. You'll rarely hear me say Beachbody in my posts. I don't ever usually say program names, product names. Like, I've kind of come up with a name for everything except for hydrate. But have fun with it. You can literally talk about our products and programs like they're your own. And the reason we do this is because if you give everyone all the information in your post, they have no reason to message you. So they can just go right to the website and sign up on their own, because they don't know that they get a coach or that it helps your business grow and stuff like that. So I just always recommend like curiosity marketing. So come up with your own fun names, like Netflix for fitness, legal crack. There's so many out there, unicorn juice, mom juice, legal crack. Put your own spin on things. Programs, I'll usually just say like my 21-day program, my 6-week boxing program. I don't think it's 6 weeks, but you know what I mean. And you just don't want to be posting about that every day. So remember, it's okay to share about you and your life outside of Beachbody, and also just share how you fit these into your routine and what they've done for you, because that's huge. Like, telling a story and adding value and solving a problem for people, as opposed to just being like, hey, I'm drinking this shake. Let people know why. What's it do for you? How does it make you feel? Think of like if it solved a problem for you, working out, like, maybe you were tired, moody, whatever. Like, think of problems that our programs and products have solved for you and share that. Like, you always want to, be telling a story, adding value. Be consistently consistent, show up every single day, treat it like any other job. Obviously, I know 7 days a week isn't ideal for everybody, but five days a week, I think is, unless you're working part-time, but 5 days a week, I think is a good number that you can show up, that you can commit to showing up. And again, if a couple days of the week, it's just a post, guess what? That's awesome. If you're consistently posting every day, like, that is huge. And those are the things that are going to move your business forward. Use this, or use a piece of paper, use whatever feels good and you are going to use consistently. Set alarms on your phone until the power hour is like brushing your teeth. This is what I did the first 4 to 6 months of my business. Had a repeat alarm every day. I don't know what time. It said power hour with a punch emoji. So that went off at whatever time. I think it was like 7 p.m. Although maybe I feel like it was earlier. Either way, whenever it went off, if I wasn't done my stuff, I like reset it to go off in like a couple hours. But that trained my brain to know, okay, Jen, you're not going to bed tonight until this, and this are done. Use timers. That's something I am loving lately. Like I said, for my invites, I set a timer for 20 minutes. However much I get done in that 20 minutes, boom, done. I move on to the next task. This ensures that you are getting all of your daily behaviors done, as opposed to spending, maybe you only have an hour to work. If you only have an hour to work, break it up. So you could do 10 minutes of personal development, 10 minutes of invites, 10 minutes of follow-ups, 10 minutes to write a post and post on your Instagram stories. Like, if you're intentional with your time, you can get so much done. And I know it's hard. So that's why I suggest like these alarms. Oh, my eye is twitching. Alarms, timers, all of that. And like, it will start to become a habit. I'm almost done. Post. So I know, I feel like I've said that 30 times, but if you're not showing up, like, people don't know. Like, if you're not sharing and showing people, they have no idea that you have something that they could do. And remember what I said about like the personal trainer. Like, if you saw a personal trainer that was showing up every day, whatever, or someone that like showed up once a month, like, who would you go with? Probably the person that was showing up every day. So stick to the basics. Again, you guys, do not overcomplicate this business. Sometimes we try to like add all these bells and whistles, And again, that takes away from just getting these simple behaviors done. The basics, your workout, your Shakeology, basically taking care of us first and foremost. Always, we have to fill our own cup. Something that's helped me huge in terms of posting. Jake's story had me do this exercise with him. Write out 5 things that make you you. So like for me, I've become very well known for tequila. That's a new one. But like pineapples, I get girls on Instagram that I don't know sending me cute little pineapple things. Like someone tagged me in this on Facebook because they know I like Harry Potter. So I jumped on Amazon and bought it. Like if you just stick to like, because I find if you try to share everything, it gets hard. But if you stick to just kind of 5 main things about you, like I love, pink. I like Harry Potter, pineapples, whatever. Just pick like a couple things that make you you, and then sprinkle that through your posts. And this one was a big one: 30 things you love about coaching or Beachbody. And trust me, this took me like 2 days to come up with 30 things, but it's been in my notes for like 2 years. And that is something when I want to do a coaching post, or, and again, not an inviting post, just to talk about something, I just pick something off that list and I'll tick it off just so I don't talk about it again. But like things like the accountability, the swag, the income, the accountability, it can really be anything. The relationships you've built, the messages you get from, girls that are crushing their goals, anything that you love about this community, these programs, write that out and then use that to help you come up with posts. Again, don't overcomplicate things. Follow what other successful coaches are doing, because I feel like we all have those, coaches that we love, we look up to, we follow them, we watch their stories, and that's awesome. Just make sure you make it your own. Like you can totally do what they're doing. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. It's all done for us, but just put your own spin on it. Like I'm in this Instagram little chat pod thing where we just say once we've posted and we comment on each other's stuff. And I saw the one day the girl wrote cheers, and then she's like, what did she say? She didn't say stole, borrowed. I think she said borrowed some words from so-and-so's post. And it was funny because I went to her post and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds really similar. But she put her own spin on it. So then a couple days ago, I loved a paragraph this one coach used. So I was like, borrowed some words from so-and-so. And she's like, oh my God, that's totally fine. Sharing is caring. So it's okay to take inspo from coaches. You just don't want to like word for word, obviously, with posts and stuff. Put your own spin on it. Just make it sound like you. Again, if you wouldn't say it to your mom or your sister or your best friend, then don't put it in your post. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. This last one's kind of random, but high traffic times on Instagram or Facebook. So all that means is, I feel like it's kind of hard. I feel like social media is a little weird right now. But just pay attention. Say if Monday at 7 p.m. you do a post and it explodes, then Monday at 7 p.m. should be your time to post. Play around. That's something I kind of did in the beginning. I'd try the mornings, I almost said 6 a.m., but who am I kidding? That never happened. So I tried 10 a.m. I tried noon. I've tried 3 p.m. I've tried evenings, and then mix it up on the weekends too, because you will find higher traffic times where you get more engagement on posts. And you don't want to post on a Tuesday night at 1 o'clock in the morning, because I doubt anyone's going to see it, right? So just be mindful of the times you're posting. That's all. I think there's just one more page if I can get this to move. Oh, no, last page. Okay, so get involved in any trainings. Like I said, we don't have any going right now, but I'm hoping to have some rolling soon. Push to emeralds, push to diamonds, chat pods. I know sometimes stuff like this can be overwhelming. I get it, but just make sure you make it on your own time. Turn notifications off. That is my biggest tip to you guys if you haven't already. All notifications off on your social media. Check in when you are ready to check in. Don't feel if you see a message go off in a chat pod or something, you don't need to pop in there. If you have it scheduled, I'm sitting down at 3 o'clock to check my messages, that's when you do it. Because again, that helps with the always feeling like you're on, always working, always having your phone. Turn notifications off. Plan out your day in the morning. Say, you know what, from this time to this time, I'm returning messages. From this time to this time, I'm checking into this. And then stick to that. Because that way you're not as overwhelmed when you're checking in when you want to check in. Because those groups and trainings, like I said, we don't have anything going on right now, but like Push to Emerald, that's how I went Emerald. Push to Diamond, that's how I went Diamond. And again, I was working 3 jobs. So it was stuff I had to, like, I couldn't really do it during the day. So if there was videos, that's what I listened to and from work, the training videos. If there was little mini assignments, I just, when I come home and like, I love Netflix, like I won't lie. So I do it while I was watching Netflix, you know, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So just make things on your own time. Remember, this is your business. You do not have to do anything the same as anyone else. You have to do what works best for you. Share your journey. I already talked about this. Get raw, get real, share the good days, the bad days, be relatable, and develop a strong why. So why is just why you're here. Why are you doing this? And like dig deep, you know, have a very strong why. And that just helps you show up on the days where you don't really feel like it. And that's the same with your health and wellness journey. I always like to compare health and wellness journey to our business because I find them very similar. When we're eating good, when we're following the containers, when we're getting our workouts in, drinking our water, we feel good and our results are freaking awesome. But when we're like me right now, kind of like, man, good day, bad day, good day, bad day, I'm not feeling super great. You know, my energy is super low, not sleeping great, whatever. So that's the same with our business. If we, sorry, I feel like I messed that up. So obviously my results right now aren't great, health and wellness wise. Same with our business. If we show up every day, we get the vitals done, you know, we be consistent, we make a commitment to our business, your business is going to take off. But if you just kind of show up here and there, you're inconsistent, then you're not going to get the best results with your business. It goes like, works both ways. Okay, last thing, trust the process, be patient, and show up. So again, like I said, you guys, I had on my initial very first power hour, be here in 1 year. Steph Davies, actually, who is in Alive and Well, 14-star diamond, she's the one that said that. I think it was on a team call, be here in 1 year. And you know why she said that? Because you're building a business. Businesses take time to grow, like 3 to 5 years. I mean, yeah, some coaches explode much faster, but like 3 to 5 years. I actually heard another coach say it took her 5 years to get her university degree as she was building her coaching business. So she's like, I'm giving my coaching business 5 years because that's what I put into school. To get a university degree, I went for 5 years and never bitched and complained that it's going to take me 5 years to get a degree. I just did it because I knew that's what I had to do. So she gave her business the same time frame. And I think like a few years in, she was crushing it. But just know that businesses take time to grow. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen overnight. But if you commit to being here for the long haul, if that's what you want. I mean, obviously we all have different goals. Some of you, this might just be a side hustle, whatever, but either way, commit to being here. And yeah, the last thing I'm just going to say is, because I always love this, results come from what we do consistently, not occasionally. And have fun. I always like to say that too, because you guys, this business is fun. Like, other than inviting that we kind of all dread sometimes, for the most part, we get to work on ourselves, work out, you know, read personal growth, and share that with people. Like, it's a pretty awesome, I feel like I'm losing my voice. It's a pretty awesome freaking gig. So don't suck the fun out of it. Okay, so yeah, don't suck the fun out of it. I mean, like I said, there's some days, obviously, we've got to do some not fun stuff, some not pretty behind the scenes work, but for the most part, you should be enjoying this. Because yeah, like, I love this business. I love this community. I love my challenge groups. Again, we all have off days, but make sure you're enjoying it. And I feel like a big part of that comes down to making sure you set a schedule for yourself, sticking to that schedule, because if you're doing this 24/7, you're going to get grumpy and you're going to burn out, and then you're just not going to want to do it at all. And that is not fun. Okay, that's all I got. Let me see if I can stop this screen share. I also meant to say at the beginning, if you had any questions while I was talking, to comment them. And depending on our time, I would go over them at the end, 9:30. Let me just see, because again, I don't like keeping you guys too long. Have to put my kid. I'll be back. PD. Okay. So far, I don't see questions. What you just said about adding people you don't necessarily know. Yes, Bailey, trust me, that was a big thing for me in the beginning because like I'm really shy and like I always say, my life is out of my comfort zone. So doing that like to random people, but then once you do it a few times and you get the few people that say like, do I know you? And you just simply say like, you just came up and like suggested friends, or you popped up on my news feed somehow, and I'm always looking to connect with like new women or however you want to word it. They're usually really good. So again, I know it's a little weird and awkward, but I find once you do it, kind of like anything in this business, once you rip the Band-Aid off, um, it does get easier. Because I know for me, like Facebook is my jam. I feel like more of my clients and coaches come from Facebook than Instagram. Everyone's different though, so play around.
I honestly feel like that if I like get over this fear that I have like with adding people on Facebook, like I even don't like adding people I know from high school. Like I have this weird thing that they'll be like, "Why are you adding me? Like we don't talk anymore," like kind of thing. And it's so stupid. Like it's just my anxiety. But like once I get over that, I feel like Facebook is definitely like more personal of a place, and like you already sort of have a connection with the people. It just like takes the step out of it. Like it makes it seem like it would be more easier to do stuff on Facebook. I just have to get over the fear.
It is hard and it is scary because yeah, like you said, there's always that thing of people are like, why is she adding me? I haven't seen her in
Yeah.
20 years. But I always kind of tell myself like it's called social media. So
And they
I
can
like
always not
like
accept the
be
friend
social.
request, right?
Pardon?
Like they can
Because
always not accept the friend request.
absolutely. And that's just it. Like you're just sending a friend request. It's totally up to them. If they're like, oh my gosh, why is this girl adding me? They just won't add you. Or they'll just shoot you a message. Like Facebook, especially now that I'm out of like people I add on Facebook now, I don't know. I don't have mutual friends. I do get a lot more like, hey, do I know you? But yeah, I just literally say, oh, you just popped up my news feed. I'm always looking to connect with like other women. Like I just threw out the ad. I hope you don't mind. And like, if you don't want to accept it, totally fine. Hope you have a great day. And then they'll be like, oh no, it's okay. Like, and then you get talking. Or like I said, the odd time, this was a few years back, but like I had a couple girls just say like, with my kids and stuff, they like to keep their page very private, which totally understandable. But yes, I do find Facebook is good, but it is scary. Maybe just set a goal of like just sending one a day even. And then
Yeah, I think I really am going to try and really, really start like trying to expand my Facebook more, because I really think that the potential is like there more than it is on Instagram.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because like you said, like or Facebook is a little bit more like tight knit, whereas Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's so much grabbing people's attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when I find like Facebook too, it has, like everyone's information is like right there. Like you know the person as soon as you like get to their profile, right? So you instantly have like stuff you can talk about and like everything.
Yeah.
I have been having really great success with like my Instagram. I like messaging people right off their stories instead of just like commenting on their posts. Like I'm still commenting on the post, but if they have like a story up, actually like taking the time to like write like a real comment, not like just an emoji, so like responding to it. Like today I have this one girl, I sent her a cart earlier, and like it was just about like a toddler book. Like Benji likes the book and her kid was reading it, and we started talking about that. So that's working well for me on Instagram, but I have such a hard time like finding people on like hashtags and stuff.
Okay.
I don't know.
I agree. See, I struggle. Instagram is definitely my harder one, just finding people to
Yeah.
follow and stuff like that. But again, it's all just things we have to play around with. I do like what you
Yeah.
said about replying to people's stories, because that shows you're actually watching, you're engaging in what they're doing, you're genuinely interested, and sending that actual comment, that's like a sentence or a couple of sentences, that goes a long way. I find people are more likely to reply because anytime, like I sent the emoji, but they just like it, right? Whereas if you send an actual blurb, then that opens up like chance for conversation. So that's a great idea. I'm just, oh my God, sorry. There was a cute puppy across. It's okay, Amanda. Oh, she's gone. I was gonna say, I forgive you. That like posting schedule for challenge group and coaching. Yeah, I just find kind of breaking up your time works well because that way you're kind of covering everything. And like obviously, so for me, I personally like to spend 2 weeks like chatting about it on my stories, and then getting people set up in my boot camp. And then once I kind of do that cutoff, like, okay, it's closed until next month, then I kind of shift. I mean, my posting, like I find that's more for stories. Like my posting, I keep a pretty like similar weekly schedule that kind of like incorporates both. But my Sunday invite will always be like 2 weeks it's challenge group invite, and then 2 weeks it's like coaching kind of thing. Allie found it helped. I watched it. Okay. I don't think there's any more questions. If you guys have any questions, I mean, I know it's getting late. Allie, you watched a video from Allie and found it helped with that weird and awkward thing. Allie, do we know her on our team? Kim?
No, it was on the Beachbody Champions page. I've just been kind of every night kind of watching a video, just trying to get myself comfortable with even just adding people because I'm like, yeah, like Bailey said, it's hard. Like I sit there and I go, well, she's skinny, so she probably doesn't need it, or you know what I mean? Like prejudge. Allie chick, I don't know what her last name is, I forget, but she said, she goes, who cares? She goes, just kind of close your eyes and just add them. You never know what they struggle with. They might struggle with maybe wanting to gain weight, like like Bailey, like just different things. She's like, don't even hesitate. She goes, if they say no, go for the no.
Exactly.
Like, it's I'm like, all right, click.
It's scary because there's always that, I feel like, fear, like, what if they message me and just say something rude or mean or whatever? But I can honestly say that that's never happened. But like, I know people do get some kind of nasty messages, but it's like, then you just block and delete them. But I just remember the coach that won the Beachbody Challenge last year, Beachbody Challenge winner. I can't think of her name, but she lost like over 100 pounds. And she told her story on stage, and she said her coach like invited her on Instagram, total stranger. And she said like, and she invited her a couple times, like followed up with her. And she said like, if she did not send me that message, like she does not know where she would be right now in her life. Like, so it's like, I try to remember stuff like that you just never know. And the chance that someone ghosts me or doesn't accept my friend request, I would much rather be like, oh my God, that person really needed my help, So it's like, I try to just go into it with that positive mindset. Like, what if they need my help? And yeah, I like the idea of just go for no, close your eyes, just hit click. And it does get a little easier, but even still, like 5 years later, there's girls I want to follow or add, and I don't, because I'm just like, well, like, what if they think this? And that's so silly. That's where personal development comes in.
That's what I've been doing now. So all week I've been adding like 60 people a day and sending out like 10 invites. Like that's been my goal. Everybody's ghosted me except for one, but she's already with Beachbody. So I was like, damn it.
But that's good, because if nothing else, you're gonna get closer. Like I always say, the more no's or ghosts you get, you're getting closer to yeses, and that's getting you more and more comfortable with doing these behaviors. So eventually, it's just like you just don't care. Like not don't care, but do you know what I mean? It's just a little easier. Yeah. Ghosting, honestly, I'm just like me. Because honestly, sometimes it could be by mistake. Like I know I've accidentally opened a message and then you're like, oh crap, you notice it friggin' 2 weeks later and you feel like a piece of crap, like human. So sometimes I just try to tell myself, oh, they didn't mean to. They opened it, or their kid opened it by mistake. Like I just tell myself that stuff.
I find that for me, with my anxiety, with inviting, having my notifications off actually really helps. So I'll send out my invites and then leave them until like later on in the evening when I'm ready to like look at them. So then my anxiety is like down a level or whatever from like sending them, and it's just like much more comfortable. So, like the notifications being turned off is like helpful to keep you from like burnout, but it also really helps my anxiety for me.
I agree. Cause there's like, I've sent an invite and people reply sometimes like 2 seconds. And then so also that can kind of take away from your flow of what you're doing. So yeah, I always notifications off. I do what I'm doing and then I leave it. Like, don't go back. And a big thing with messages and like you're inviting, I find it's important to make sure you're in a good frame of mind. Like, so when I was working a lot, I never really returned messages like on a break and stuff because I felt rushed and I never wanted that to come across like in my messages. So sometimes it's good to like put on a song, you know, dance, sing, read a chapter of a good book, and then sit down and do your invites. Just making sure you're in a good positive space when you do things that are a little bit harder for you to do. I find that really helps too.
Cool. I'll try that.
I just wanted to share something that from a training I did. So there's a couple things. So the one is there's two quotes and then something Josh coach talked about today. So the quote is, nothing in your life changes till you change something you do daily. So don't be afraid to change what you're doing. If it's not working, change it. And also this one, and I used it in my post the other day, how dare you tell your kids to grow up and chase their dreams if you won't? So if you're going to sit there and say, I'm too scared to send that invite, I want this business, but I'm scared of what people think. But then you're telling your kids to go for it, or whatever they want in life. You're not setting the example. So set that example, like think of that. Think, I want to show my kids that I'm achieving my dream so they can achieve theirs. And then today he was talking about finding your inner mean girl. It's okay to get into your inner mean girl and like real talk. Like he said, 2 times a week, go tough love, real talk on your stories and like relate it back to you. So if say you want to talk about the fact that people always say, I don't have the motivation, or I don't get how you're so dedicated, like that, sit there and say like, I finally got to the point in my life where I could sit there watching Netflix, or I could run my side hustle and push it forward and better my family lifestyle. And just be like real with them and just like relate it to you, but kind of give them there's no reason that time should not be here. Not having time should be an excuse, because everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. Mm-hmm. How are you using it? Are you going to sit there and binge watch Netflix, or are you going to go for it?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I just wanted to share those because they're like really good mindset.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Those are very powerful. And the first one you said, that is something I have, like lived off of. Jake, I think, said it to me that you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expect a different result. So like if something's not working, you got to change it. So, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier, like what I do or how I do certain things may not work for you. So it's okay to try a different inviting method. Or if you hear something on a wake up call, try it, because you will find something that works well for you. So yeah, that is super important. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Okay, ladies.
That is one of my favorite things about the national wake up calls. Like I watch every single one of them. I go back, like I've watched like previous ones from before I was a coach. I love like learning all the different things that work for the coaches and being able to like try them out. Like it's seriously one of my favorite things.
Yeah. And the cool thing, like with the wake up calls, is there is literally one on every topic, you know, and probably from a couple different coaches. Like I have there's an app like for your phone, just whatever phone you have, you just download the podcast app and then you just download the Beachbody podcast and you can scroll back to like 2014. You might even be able to search, but like if it's inviting, if it's fear, if it's motivation, if it's mindset, if it's confidence, you will find a wake up call for that. So that is a great resource. And yeah, I love them. Like I've never been like, wow, that wake up call sucked. They're always so good, like so good. Seriously.
I cry like I think every week when they tell a story. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm crying.
Yeah, I know.
Like, damn it.
That's me, I find. But yeah, they're good. I find like, yeah, you either cry or you're laughing, or you learn something that you can take away and apply to your business, or you're just motivated and fired up. Yeah, they're amazing. amazing. And again, like I always say, like if you can't catch them Mondays, totally okay. Just make it a goal once a week to pop on a wake up call, you know, like anyone. It doesn't even have to be that week. Just listen to one and you'll be like, wow, these are great. Anything else anyone wants to add, ask, say, do? Thank you for listening to me ramble, by the way, tonight. Hopefully it was helpful. I hope it made sense. Sometimes I get so much in my head that I want to say, and I just don't even know how it's all coming out. Okay, well, I know it's getting late, so we will wrap it up. Stay tuned for some summit things. I am first and foremost I have already a schedule, but it has another team name on it. So I'm just going to tomorrow redo it, but it just has all the days and like the times in Eastern of what's happening every day next week. So obviously I encourage you guys to tune into as much of it as you can because it will be killer training. But I don't expect you to do all of it because it's a lot, especially when you're not actually there. It is a lot to commit to online. I'll also try to kind of share like what's more important, you know, not important, but it'll be cool just to see obviously all the trainers, super trainers and the workouts. So my goal is to have all of that posted for you guys tomorrow, just like the schedule, who's going on what day, yada, yada, yada. And then of course we will start kind of planning get together and stuff like that. Honestly, like I'm pretty easy peasy. The biggest thing is just us all being there. I hoped for like when like the super workout is, I think. And then yeah, we can kind of just hang out, have fun, brainstorm, take pics, food, whatever. But we will chat about that more like tomorrow and Friday. But I'm excited. Okay, well, I will leave it at that, ladies. Thank you so much for hopping on. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to message me, post in the team page, and I will see everyone tomorrow. Night.